In tonight's everything, or we talked about this earlier, but I want to do a slightly deeper talk about it. We talked about how HBO, the producers of The Last of Us, have cast Abby for season 2. If you missed it, it's a fun announcement. Kaitlyn Dever, who for a lot of people is most famous for being in Booksmart, is a fantastic actress. You might also know them from Last Man Standing, Justified, Unbelievable, and Dope Sick. Film-wise, Booksmart, which we talked about, Rosaline, Next Goal Wins, No One Will Save You. She's got a Golden Globe nom for Unbelievable, and she has Golden Globe noms and Emmys for Dope Sick as well. But that's your Abby. Abby, for those who do not know the gaming side of The Last of Us, I don't want to say is the antagonist of season 2, but is the co-lead of season. I feel like more accurately, Abby is the co-lead of season 2 of The Last of Us. Plays a very, very, very big important part, and is also kind of like the central lightning rod of why The Last of Us Part 2 is like the one of the biggest and most polarizing games of the last decade. Which I think is silly. For the record, I'm going to say this up front, so if you're however long into this video you are, Abby is a great character. Abby is an important character to the lore of The Last of Us, and I love that they've cast someone as great as Kaitlyn Dever as Abby. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I will also say that The Last of Us Part 2 is one of the best video games I have ever played that I absolutely don't want to play again. It is a very, and not for the length, it's like a 25-hour game. I've played longer games. Like I'm literally playing Baldur's Gate 3 now, so, and I know that's at the low end twice as long as what I'm talking about. So it's not necessarily the length, it's just it is a very intense game. The themes are very heavy, and it hits you very hard at their emotional beats because that's what they wanted to do with The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us Part 2 is very heavy, very intense, very emotional, and I don't need to play that again, because when you play a game you are more invested because you are part of that character. That is the whole aspect. That is why I don't necessarily get scared at horror movies, but I get terrified playing horror video games. You are placed into that setting. You're playing those characters, and that is the appeal, and that is the appeal of video games, and why it's such a different medium than movies and TV. In this instance, TV with Abby and The Last of Us and stuff like that. So I don't inherently want to play it ever again. I will watch it, and I will be very intrigued to see how they do it, because they did enough things that were different in season 1. Quite literally, Nick Offerman just won an Emmy for the biggest change they did in one of the most beautiful episodes of television I've ever seen. So I'm curious to see how they work Abby into season 2, and I would assume season 3 and onward, because The Last of Us Part 2 is so long. You could split that into 2 seasons of television, and it would make sense, and you wouldn't be rushing anything, and you wouldn't also feel like they're filling in floaters with that or anything like that. Also, it is important to note, because obviously anytime that they are casting someone who is famously voiced by someone in the famous realm of video games, people wait and anticipate to see a reaction. Laura Bailey immediately tweeted out, because Max, HBO streaming service, talked about it, and then huge congrats, Kaitlyn. So excited to see Abby's evolution into your performance. Let me know if you need a workout buddy, and strength emoji. It's so great. I love that that was an immediate thing. Laura Bailey went through so much shit because of Abby. Laura Bailey also won many awards for being Abby. She is fantastic as Abby. Abby is a good character. But not dabbling into spoilers, because I'm trying not to say anything ultra specific in this instance, in case anyone out there has not played the game, has only watched the show. Abby is the character, and just I love that she does bring out the workout buddy, because I'm going to assume we're going to have a physical transformation from Kaitlyn Dever, because that is a huge part of the Abby character, and is where a lot of the polarization comes from, because people fucking suck. like I'm not gonna hide the fact I'm moving the camera now. You're gonna see this in the middle of the YouTube video. I don't care. It happened. It was weird. It was bothering me. I fixed it. I'm very much in the side of anyone who complained for that specific reason. Like, there are valid complaints of The Last of Us Part 2. It is not a perfect game. It is a long game. It is probably too long of a game. But also, at the same time, you can argue that I don't know. It's heavy-handed and stuff like that. I'm not trying to argue that it's not. I very much am happy that I played The Last of Us Part 2. But as I said earlier, there is a reason why I have called it one of the best games I've never want to play again. But yeah, there's a whole thing. Abby as a character is a lightning rod with this franchise and series. So Laura Bailey immediately being like, hey, welcome to the family, I got you, is so huge. And I'm sure because Neil Druckmann is involved heavily, was like, hey, this happened with the character. Are you ready for this? Because there's no way they didn't prep her for this, because she's unfortunately about to get a lot of attention from a very not fun part of the internet. And that's going to be interesting. But I love that she is Abby, because I think that's a great character. She better get some golf lessons. Ooh, I'm not going to expand on that. But yeah, she better get some golf lessons. I'm just very excited to see where this goes. I'm excited. I think they're going to film at the end of this year, because if you didn't see the Golden Globes, Pedro Pascal broke his arm, so his arm's in a sling. He's getting surgery on it later this month. But that also gives her the entirety of this year to physically transform into Abby, because Abby is jacked. Abby, The Last of Us Part 2. I'm just gonna... We have a good image of Abby's arms. There we go. Open image, new tab. She's got time to get some guns, is what I'm saying. I would hope for a slightly beefier person, but also okay. That's the thing, is like, I don't know. Do you have a this could be a fault of mine, and I will admit that, and that's perfectly fine. She does have a year to get beefy. And Laura Bailey leading with "if you need a workout buddy" is implying that Kaitlyn Dever is about to get fucking jacked. But yeah, we're about to have a new TV muscle mommy, and her name is Kaitlyn Dever. I think Kaitlyn Dever is absolutely going to fucking smash the role of Abby. And it'll be wild to see just how intense her training is, because I feel like she is going to go very intense. Now, the other side of that, we talked about Laura Bailey. Laura Bailey did have a cameo in the finale. Smash, who say? Like a Hulk smash? Like a different show? What you mean, the people who didn't like She-Hulk are going to be the same people who didn't like The Last of Us Part 2? Yes, I do mean that. Oops. But yeah. But I'm excited by Kaitlyn Dever being Abby. I think she's going to do an absolutely bang-up job at it. If you've made it, Abby does smash things. Abby does smash some things. And I'll leave it at that. I'll end it at that. If you have thoughts about Kaitlyn Dever as Abby, or just thoughts in general, throw them in the comments down below. Thank you for being here, and thanks for listening.